Hello Claire, we have the same name.
Hi, bonjour Claire. Nice to meet you.
Bonjour. Do you taste our wine or do you want us to present you our wines?
So James and I tasted them earlier today, but it would be great if you could present them and we can taste together again. I have all five here.
Okay.
And
But you probably hear that. But 19 is quite very different from 18. 18 was very sunny with a high level of maturity, and 19 was brighter, I would say. And in Margaux especially, we have this flowery taste, which we have not that much in 18, which make the wine are kind of more probably less heavy than they were 18, but much more brilliant, much more. I think they have a fantastic energy in 19. Mm. And we have this balance, we have this freshness, even when the degree alcohol was high as well. But the style of maturity, the weather was milder than it was in 18. So we have this balance, which is fantastic in 19.
But wasn't it also quite wet to start with, and then the summer was dry? Was that how the growing season was?
Yes, and I would say, unfortunately, spring was wet all the last the last seasons, which was not it didn't make the thing very easy for organic and biodynamic winemaking when growing. And each time, 18, even 19, 20, and 21, we had a wet and warm spring, which didn't make the things very easy.
No, the summer was very dry, very, very dry. The spring, unfortunately, we are very sensible about the frost. For the recent years, we have a very beautiful beginning of spring, and then everything is very early matured, and then we have the frost. So we have to fight against the frost. 19 was not as severe as 17 or 2021, but always we had some difficulties with the frost, so we have candle that we fire, but the summer was extremely hot and extremely dry. Gonzague, enfin, all our chateaus, Aubage Libérale, Ferrières, and Durfort-Vivens, are in biodynamic. We started biodynamic for more than 10 years, so we are quite in advance in Bordeaux for that. Biodynamic is very important because we are not we are in connection with the ground, with the floor, because we are not allowed to add any synthetic product or any transformed product. We just have to use natural things. So we are not allowed to use any fertilizants. The only fertilizant we are allowed to use is very natural fertilizants, and so the vines has to be connected by itself with the ground, because nothing is able to add. And so for perhaps 5 years now, Aubage Libérale more for perhaps 15 years, we work on the cover crop. And cover crop is very challenging in Bordeaux because we have 10,000 plants per hectare. So which is quite complicated to manage the weeds, and especially underneath the vines. But we realized that after a certain time, not at the beginning, because the cover crop can make a big competition with the water. But after a certain time, when the sequestration of the carbon from the air go back to the ground, when the ground is more strong, better in mineralization, better in humus and many things, we realize that, in fact, against the big drought that we can have every summer now, it's a kind of fight. After perhaps 5-10 years, when the cover crop is very well installed, it's a very good tool against the warming climate. And again, this very high peak of heat during the summer, we can stress many vines. And with Gonzague, we planted also a lot of trees in the vineyards. so trees aged, but in Aubage Libérale especially, we planted trees in the vineyard. So we put 100 trees per hectare in some plots of vines. Every 14 rows, we plant trees because the evapotranspiration of the trees can also be a very good impact against the warming climate and especially this heat during August, which is quite difficult.
And do you think these practices, biodynamic practices and cover crops and planting trees in the vineyard, do you think other producers in Bordeaux will realize that this is perhaps a good way to go, especially in the future with more climate change, because this will keep happening, right? I think the summers will get hotter and drier. You'll have more extreme weather. And I know traditionally in Bordeaux, it's been very difficult, as you said, to be organic and biodynamic because then you can't spray, you can't use the pesticides and everything. But do you think there will be a shift in producers' attitude towards biodynamics and organics going forwards in Bordeaux?
We can see that, especially in the last years. There is a real move to organic, at least, and on the top level to biodynamics, because biodynamics, people realize that when you want to increase the level of your wine, very often for us, what we consider is that organic is linked to the soil, but sometimes it can make wine a little rustic. And when you add biodynamic to that, you give more energy and you produce great wines. That's why most of the top chateaus, they want to move to biodynamic because they realize that there is this energy, which is fantastic. And what we see in among, for example, the classified in 1855, there is a shift now, very important, and you have many chateaus who are moving toward biodynamics, and you have chateaus like the first one to be there were Pontet-Canet, Durfort-Vivens, Ferrières, Palmer, Aubage Libérale, and then now Latour. And now you have newcomers like Pichon Longueville-Lalande, the Comtesse de Lalande. You have Rosan-Segla, you have Pédesclos, you have in all the Gruau-Larose. So
and they are converting to biodynamics.
They are converting to biodynamics.
To organic firstly, but which is excellent because Bordeaux is now next year, so now in 2022, it will be the biggest appellation in organics. In conversion. Sorry. So it will be the bigger appellation in the world in organic, even if the climate is very, very complicated. So
that's a huge step for Bordeaux for your climate.
Yeah, yes. They start a little late, but now they go very fast. And all the notion of cover crop, is something, cover crop and trees is something that is speaking to people, even for the people who are not in organic because they can't afford, because to be in organic and biodynamic in Bordeaux, you have to be ready to lose some grapes, Of course, you are not able to produce as well as, even if you have no disease, we can't produce as well as if we are in conventional because we can't use many tools. So
because of the yield.
Naturally the yield decrease, and then after we have the disease, the mildew issue in 2018 and of course 2021 was very complicated too. So we have to be ready to lose some crop. Gonzague say usually one crop every 4 or 5 years, So
I say that the objective would be to more or less to have 15% crop lost, which means on 10 years 1.5 crop, which is still 15% per year. On 10 years time, it's 1.5 crop. And so because it's not so regular, you have some vintages which are okay and you produce as much as the others. But some they are so tough. For example, for me in Durfort-Vivens, I had the 2018 where I lost 90% of my crop. So, but some other vintages were okay. And for example, 2021 in Durfort was quite okay. In fact, I did more than 30 hectoliters per hectare, so more than 35 on the old vines. so which was very good, and it was a top vintage. But some other vintages were like 18, even 16. I lost a part of the crop. So we know that we are more fragile than the others. So we have to take care. But that's also the key of the success, is that we have to be on the field every time. You have to be with to live with your vines, I would say. And then after, probably the result is better. It's what we consider. You never know if the real influence is more coming from the stars or from the work of the people, or the attention we get to our vineyard. But all that together, it works.
And all that together, in fact, the wine has a lot more taste because the vines are completely connected with their grounds. So there is more métabolites secondaire. There is more subtlety in the grapes. And then after we have to work and to go ahead during the vinification with very low addition of sulfites. In Demeter, Durfort Vivin, Sainte-Ferrière are together Demeter wine, which is extremely rare. Only Pontet-Canet, Durfort Vivin, Sainte-Ferrière are Demeter wine. Right. The other are Demeter vines, but wine, you are not allowed to add any entrant, anything. No yeast, no batteries. We are allowed to use a little bit of sulfite, but half less than a normal wine, which is quite complicated and challenging too. So, but all this, I will say, these restrictions can help us to bring a wine as naturally as possible, but we control everything, of course, to be more fruity, more. The quality of the tannins does change for the 10 last years of our wines. And I don't know, you tasted the wine yesterday, but 2019 is a beautiful vintage because of the quality of the tannins, but specifically in our wines, the purity of the tannins, I think, is going very, very well. And with
absolutely.
the bio,
I would love to now taste them with you, but you could for sure taste the energy in the wines, and also, yes, the fruitiness. I think maybe some of your wines, I think they will age for a long time as well, but they're also more approachable to drink now than some of the other wines that we've been tasting. I have them all here in front of me. Maybe we should start with the 3 Margots, or which one should we start with?
Yeah, you can start with Château Laguergue.
Yep. Yes, I have that right here.
So Laguergue is, it's not a big estate. It's only 12 hectares of vines. So small and tiny chateau. We are on gravelly soil, very gravelly, sandy gravelly soil. We are mostly in Soussan. I don't know if you're familiar with Margaux. Did you visit Margaux?
Yeah.
We have quite a good amount of Merlot. We have, I think, 40 or 45% Merlot. You have the technical sheets. We have Petit Verdot too, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Usually I like to say that Laguergue is a complicated name to pronounce because Laguergue, it's very guttural, but the wine is completely, is the opposite. It's a very feminine wine. And the way we are making the wine today is, of course, it's grow organically and biodynamically, but also in the wine, 40% of the wine is in a concrete tank and 60% is in wood, with only 20% of new oak. And the result is we want to keep the fruit. We want to, so we just have new barrel and barrel of 1 year. And then the wine is aged in a concrete tank, natural concrete tanks. Some of them are the shape of eggs. So we have some concrete eggs where the wine is aging very well. We can keep this fruity taste. And in fact, it's more modern than the way we did in the past, where we aged everything in barrel. Because when you use a barrel of 2 or 3 years, you have to add more sulfite. And in fact, you can have a certain austerity of the wine. So thanks to this aging, I think it's a good respect of the fruit that where we worked so hardly during the growing season, you know.
For sure, and I get what you're saying with the more feminine side. You get some your berries, but also some flowers, and some mineral notes. Maybe that's also from the concrete tanks. I get like this crushed stone, almost clay quality to it.
Yeah, and the freshness, of course. And always in my wine, there is a lot of freshness. And of course, even if there is a good amount of Merlot, we can have this beautiful quality of tannins, which come from the Cabernet. And so I think it's very easy to drink. You can keep it 20 years, but because lager is aging so well. But I think it's important to be able to make a wine that people are able to drink as soon as they receive the bottle, which is 90% of the case. So we have to adapt. So some people ask me and said, well, your wines are not aging as well as they are aged in the past, probably because you change your way of making the wine. No, absolutely not. The wine is more approachable young, but you can keep it as long as you
tannin structure is still there, but it's not as aggressive.
Yeah, and it's very smoothie and good to drink now.
Okay, great. Should we move on to
Ferrières?
Yeah.
Yes. So Ferrières is a classified growth in Margaux. So it's 24 hectares. So it's as small as a chateau too, but very nice located because 90% of the blocks of Ferrières are on Margaux, on the Margaux place. You know. Village. Margaux, you have 5 different localizations in Margaux. You have Labarde, villages. Labarde, Soussan, Labarde, Arsac,
Cantenac,
Labarde, Soussan, Arsac, Labarde, Cantenac, Margaux et Soussan. It's very, Margaux is, it's very, it's the size of Pauillac, more or less. But
the village of Margaux or the
AVA, the AVA. But it's very well spread. So we have a lot of more biodiversity in Margaux than in Pauillac, because between Arsac, Labarde, we have plenty of trees, which is very interesting in Margaux. If you see the appellation of Margaux, you see that it's not a block as in Pauillac. It's different pieces. And between these pieces of vines, blocks of vines, you have trees, which is, I think, very interesting for the biodiversity and for the... So Ferrières is 90% Margaux. Right. So it's only very gravelly soil, very deep and gravelly soil. And one characteristic of Ferrières is its high proportion of old vines. We have 7 hectares of vines, which is more than 70 years old. So Merlot, Cab Franc, and Petit Verdot, which are in the blend, are coming from these vines.
Cab Franc or Cab Sauv?
Cabernet Franc.
Cabernet Franc.
We have just 1 hectare of Cabernet Sauvignon, which were planted in the 50s. The rest is the Merlot and Cab Franc and Petit Verdot, especially.
Okay.
We have
on your old vines, so you don't have old Cabernet Sauvignon.
No. Si, j'en ai. The age of Ferrières is quite old because the average is 40 years old, 40, 45 years old. But 7 hectares were planted in the 50s.
Right.
So we do complantation to keep that because it's a beautiful patrimoine and it gives a lot of density to the wine too. So it's mainly Cab Sauvignon, but we have also Cab Franc and the Petit Verdot and Merlot. Which are very unique because they are Massal selection, and we do duplication of this Massal selection because it's lovely grapes.
There's like some violets on the nose. It's quite fragrant as well as like the also quite mineral, like the gravel as well.
Yeah, the violet, yes, and in fact, we just have a type of soil which is gravelly soil. Only that, but of course there is nuances between the blocks. I think that Ferrières is very characteristic for its richness. It's a very, I would say, masculine wine for Margaux.
I love the texture. You have the firm tannins, but they're so fine and they're so supple. It's all seamless. There's no harsh chewiness. It's framed very nicely, I would say.
Yeah, and thank you. And the work that we are doing, of course, in the vines, but also in the cellar. Ferrières is aged 40% new oak, 40% of barrel of 1 year, and 20% in amphoras or in eggs, concrete eggs, natural concrete eggs, to keep the fruit. So no barrel more than 1 year old. So only and the 20% which is in tank stay in the tank, you know, and it gives a lot of freshness, raspberries, blackberries, and after everything is mixed. But we changed completely the style of aging the wine in 2018, in fact, and it gives a certain modernity to the wine as for lager, you know, more crispy, more fruity, and of course the beautiful tannins.
And you can taste the freshness, as you said, the purity of the fruit in the wine.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Durfort.
Yes, Claire, do you have the 3 cuvées parcellaires or do you have only Durfort Vivens?
I only have Durfort Vivens.
Okay.
Yeah, this one.
So Durfort, what can I say more than that? We are in organic and certified from 2016. So this one was our fourth vintage. And so we started in 12, in fact, from being 100% biodynamic. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It was the 8th vintage like that. I was looking at the weather station during harvest time. In fact, what was nice is that we had early September, we had some little rain, which was good because summer was very dry just before. And then after, we had very good condition for harvest. And then after end of October, it starts raining again, but all the grapes were in the cellar already. And the 19 for me is one of my favorites because we have this, I would say, this brightness, these flowery aromas which are beautiful, and it's, as usual, I would say in Durfort we have always a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon. Probably we are the classified with the highest proportion of Cabernet Sauvignon in the blend. We are 90% Cabernet Sauvignon. And still, what is nice is that the tannins are so soft.
So they're very supple and silky.
Yes, exactly. I think that the kind of grapes we've got from Biodynamie, but as well the aging, with 2/3 in new barrel and 1/3 in terracotta amphoras, makes a balance which helps us to keep the level of sulfites just what is needed and not too much. Right. And when we did the different trials, we could consider that more you add sulfur, more you dry your tannins. And that's why when you said, oh, your wines are so easy to drink, in fact, because the total sulfur we have in our wines is lower than the others.
Right.
But what is very important is that the free sulfur, which is one who avoid oxidation, is at a good level. So the work is done before, during the aging, to keep the level of total sulfur as low as possible.
That's fascinating. And I really enjoyed tasting this because, as you said, it's 90% Cabernet Sauvignon, but to me, it's a much fresher expression than you'd get. There's more like blue and red fruit as opposed to just very dark fruit. So I think there's that. It's the fresher, the more vibrant fruity side of it, as well as the very silky tannins that make it so easy to drink. And I don't know if that's because of your biodynamic practices and the vines themselves, or because it's partly in terracotta amphora, or it's
I think that there is many influences which make the wine as complex.
Of course.
Sorry, my telephone is ringing.
Yeah, I have the two more. I have, of course, the Aubage Libérale, and I also have the Ceres.
Yes. So it's for Claire.
Yeah, so you can.
Claire is back with you.
Yeah, I would like to learn more about this wine.
Yeah, we can start with Ceres. So Ceres is a special cuvée. In fact, I have a block of vines, which is not in Pauillac, but in Haut-Médoc. It's close to Verteuil, a beautiful village. Ouais, vas-y. And Ceres is, so this vine, I own these vines for now 15 years. And before I produced the Haut-Médoc, the Aubage Libérale. But we started last year. I had a beautiful project. I spoke about, the agroforestry and to plant trees in the vines age. And of course, it's organic and biodynamic. We do cover crop for 4 or 5 years now. And I wanted to have a lot of more biodiversity. And I worked with Alain Canet. Alain Canet is president of the Association of the Agroforestry in France. And we started to plant trees in all the vines. So for the moment, we just have 2 hectares, but these 2 hectares we planted a row of trees every 14 rows, 14 meters. It's 10,000 plants per hectare. So every 14 rows because the tractor is able to spray 7 rows. So So every 14 rows, we plant a range of trees mixed with the vines. So we choose plenty of different trees, but trees which are completely connected with the vines through their mycorrhizae, all the réseau mycorrhizien. I'm sure that you heard about that, but all the synergy between peach trees, apple trees, or even plenty of trees, they have the same connection and the same, net with the mycorrhizae. The mycorrhizae are the mushrooms that are connected the ground with the roots and who give back to the vines all the oligo-elements and many things. So that we did it's very experimental, but we planted 100 trees per hectare. So we did it for 2 hectares and we will do for all the rest. So we have 8 hectares. So every year we plant a new hectare of trees. We created a pond for the birds to drink. We planted aged. And the idea is to completely come back to the old way of growing the vines with the...
So is the fruit for Ceres, is it a part of the estate for Aubage Libérale?
Yes. Yeah, it's a block of Aubage Libérale, yes.
Okay, I see.
It's owned by Aubage Libérale for 15 years now.
Right.
But so we also produce the wine without sulfite as a natural wine, So it's an organic wine, it's a biodynamic wine with trees in the vineyard to have a lot of more resilience against the disease, the biodiversity, and then it's a very important. I would say I'm really sure that the biodiversity will help a lot to fight against especially the mildew and many diseases we have in Bordeaux. So, and this wine is with no sulfite, so completely natural. Mm. So, of course, I'm not doing that in Aubage Libérale. I'm doing that in this Haut-Médoc because the goal is to drink it in the 1 or 2 next years. It's a very young wine, very good. I think in 3 or 4 years, it will be not as charming because the charm of this wine is very raspberry and
it jumps out at you, the fruitiness, the freshness, even the natural side of the wine.
Absolutely. So it's a very simple wine, not a complex wine. The thing which is very interesting, we are on chalky soil. It's very chalky. It's very, it's clay and chalk, but the clay is white because of the high amount of chalk. And we can have this chalky taste in the palate, which is interesting. So the idea was to make a wine that people could drink without thinking, very not intellectual wine. And the label was drawn by an artist that I like very much, François Houtin. This artist works mainly with Hermès. He's a good, he works a lot for Hermès, but he's an independent worker and he only draws trees. It's the only thing he's doing is trees and trees. So he came in Aubage Libérale and he loved the project and he drew the label. So, and Ceres, yeah.
I like it very much. Okay, we have one more to go, the Aubage Libérale.
Yes. So Aubage Libérale, we are quite in advance. We are in biodynamic for now 14 years. We started in 2007. We were certified a little later than Ferrières and Durfort, but we are Aubage Libérale is very well located. Half of the vineyard is along the river, so we never frost. And my main neighbor is Château Latour, So we have the vines are completely neighbor of Château Latour, and so we have a beautiful terroir. We have half is regarding the river. We have a lot of gravel, but also chalky on the clay. And the other side of the vineyard is between Pichon-Baron and Linge-Bage, on Bage Place. It's a village, and it's only gravelly soil. So we have two types of soil, which is very interesting. Aubage, because the vines which are around the chateau are quite steepy. Along the river, we have a quite big steep, so we were obliged to plant cover crop to be inorganic, because after a big rain, we have to spray. And when it's too steepy, we can't go with tractor. So we practice the cover crop for now 15 years. And we have the result of the cover crop today, because we have no more any competition with the water. And so we see the benefits of the cover crop for now 5-6 years, which is excellent. It's why we do that everywhere now. Aubage is very mineral because of this chalky soil. Very red fruit. It's very impressive to have this red fruit. Of course, it's a Pauillac, but I would say it's more a feminine Pauillac.
It's got this complex minerality on the nose from everything from like gravel, and even you have the oyster shells and a bit of iodine. Like there's all this subtle minerality coming through.
Yeah. And as for Ferrières, we age the wine in 40% in new oak, 40% of 1 year, and 40% and 20% in jar or in amphoras, concrete eggs. So we bought these eggs also to keep this freshness, in fact.
Very fine tannins.
Yeah. And in Aubage too, we planted some trees in the vines. We have 1 block of 1.5 hectares where I planted plenty of trees inside, So we do experiences, because it's important to be inorganic and biodynamic, but we have to go ahead and to go, it's not a aim, it's not an objective. We always have to improve. And especially with the climate, which is changing so fast.
And for you personally, do you prefer the 2019 vintage to the 2018 or the 2018?
Ah la la, so different. 18 is the generosity, everything is coming at the beginning. The fruity, the generosity. 19 is more, I will say, my taste. Because I think that all the coherence from the beginning, the fruit is not as impressive today. I think it will increase in the 1 or 2 years, but the quality of the tannins and the definition of the tannins, I think is the best aboutissement for me. I prefer the longness, and I prefer the palate of the 19 and the
precise,
fruit.
I think.
Sorry?
It's very precise on the palate, very fine, very precise.
Very precise and very precise and very complete. In fact, is big and elegant. Everything is very homogeneous. In fact, more than the 18, but 18 has a generosity in the attack, which is amazing. So both are so interesting. I think it's good to, they are so different. And 19 is a little more as we represent the Bordeaux, and probably more in my taste, but perhaps not as easy as 18. But both are wonderful vintage and so different.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. That was wonderful.
No, thank you, Claire. Thank you for tasting with us. And hope to see you in Bordeaux.
Yes. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Claire. Bye-bye.
Bye.